coming back to Putin, the country is clearly very satisfied. They're not running about tearing each other's throats apart. They seem very happy. The city of Moscow is so impressive. I mean, London is pretty, but it's kind of tatty compared to Moscow. I mean, and DC is the other potential candidate. It's all right. It's not bad. But DC doesn't measure up anywhere near Moscow. No way does DC measure up to Moscow.
Yeah.
And I was able to say, there's no doubt that Moscow is the best, most beautiful capital city I've ever seen anyway.
It's stunning. Well, what I loved is on the subways, they even had chandeliers when I was there.
Yes. Yes. And everything's so clean.
Yes.
And they high pressure hose the sidewalks. Even during the day when people are walking about, they are high pressure hosing the sidewalks. And anyway, so coming back to Putin, the argument I get is yes, but it's a dictatorship. That's what people in the West or so-called West have said to me. Yes, but it's a dictatorship. I said, well, I've just come out of the UAE. That's a dictatorship too. That's a total dictatorship. That's a no-nonsense dictatorship. You can't even, UAE doesn't even have a parliament. Russia has a Duma, called the Duma. It's a parliament. People come from all over Russia to the Duma. They've got like 500 or, I don't know, no, it's much more. It's about 1,000 representatives. So this dictatorship thing is nonsense. Most of the countries in the world have been dictatorships for the last thousands of years. If you had to take the so-called thing we call democracy and measure it up against on a long line across a piece of paper, and the black line is the past, that means dictatorship, and the little line at the end that's green maybe would be about 2 millimeters long. Be about 1 millimeter or 2 long. That would be the dictatorship level or portion. No, the world has, unfortunately or fortunately, I don't know, been operated by dictatorships. We live in a country now in South Africa where the mass majority is black, and they vote for. So we live in an ethnic dictatorship. We have an ethnic dictatorship. So it doesn't matter what happens. It's a dictatorship. There's no, the only possible argument against a dictatorship that among the leaders in the one group, they squabble with each other to who's going to be in charge. So I suppose you could say the same applies in Russia. They also have a leadership struggle. And but in the UAE, for example, there is absolutely nothing. And Saudi Arabia, for that matter, there's no leadership struggle. I mean, if you object in the UAE or Saudi Arabia, I think the most pleasant alternative will be you are ejected from the country. You are removed from the country. That's all. If you're lucky. If you're a local who objects, I think they're a bit more, they're a little bit more unpleasant.
Yeah. Well, and that, as you know, that's the accusation put against Russia as well, is that the people who stand against or oppose Putin disappear. What's the view on the ground regarding that?
Yes, I noticed that happens with the Clintons as well. People who oppose the Clintons seem to disappear. It's about 130 now that have disappeared. So, and at the moment we're right in the middle of one who disappeared that everybody knows is either still alive or he wasn't murdered. I mean, he didn't commit suicide. I beg pardon, rephrase that. We sit in the middle of a situation now of someone who, is still alive, that's Epstein, or he was murdered. No one remotely believes that he was committed suicide.
Right.
No one believes that. And, so there, you go from one country to the other. I think I've read vaguely they accused Putin of, it wouldn't be Putin, it would be the government of Russia of dispensing with their enemies in this and that way. I mean, it's unfortunately, as I've tried to warn my son Elon, that's what politics is about.